Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Hello.
Today, we're really setting our sights on the world of tourism and travel. It's quite fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
We've gathered, well, a really interesting mix of materials. We've got personal glimpses into different hometowns.
Yeah, that audio track.
Right? And some practical tools like vocabulary for talking about travel trends, and even a look at the IELTS writing task 1.
So the mission basically is to unpack all of this.
Exactly. Pull out the key insights, help you get a solid grasp of the core ideas presented in these sources.
Sounds good. And we're looking at it from a few different angles using that vocabulary guide.
Which is aimed at, what, band 6, 7?
Yeah, intermediate level. And the IELTS prep stuff, plus that audio track 7A where people talk about their homes.
It's a great way to see travel from, well, lots of perspectives.
Definitely.
Okay, let's start with those hometowns. They're quite diverse. In the audio, we hear from 4 people.
4 different spots, yeah.
First one is someone from a quiet village. It's about 300 kilometers from a big city.
Quite a way out.
Yeah. Think scenic countryside, really peaceful atmosphere, fresh air.
Nice.
They also mention a weekly market, which apparently draws people in from neighboring villages.
Ah, okay.
Sounds like a lovely escape, doesn't it?
It really does. It sort of highlights that whole slow tourism idea.
Right. People wanting to get away from the rush.
Exactly. In our, fast-paced world, there's real value in experiences that let you unwind, connect with nature.
So the distance isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Not at all.
Yeah.
For some, that's precisely the appeal, the tranquility.
Okay, then we travel to a coastal town. Picture this. Long, white, sandy beaches.
Mm-hmm.
Clear water. Sounds idyllic.
Definitely a draw for sea lovers. Snorkeling, scuba diving.
Deep sea fishing, too.
You're right. And they mentioned it's currently accessible by ferry.
Yeah, but they're getting an airport soon, which is a big change.
Oh, absolutely. That'll definitely open it up. Makes you wonder, though.
How it'll affect the place.
Yeah. How that increased access will impact the town's character. Will it stay peaceful or,
Get much busier.
It's a common dilemma for places like that, isn't it?
It really is. Okay, next stop, complete contrast. A bustling city.
The big one.
Yeah, skyscrapers, statues, fountains, the works. But the main thing seems to be shopping.
How many malls?
Over 50.
Wow. Okay.
So clearly a big draw for overseas visitors. It's got a very busy airport and, importantly, good public transport.
Which you need, I imagine.
Apparently essential, yeah, because driving is a nightmare with traffic jams.
That makes sense.
They've also got nearby things like a sports stadium, theme parks, that kind of thing.
So lots to do.
Definitely. Though they do mention a downside, occasional air pollution.
Ah, right. The trade-off for a major city sometimes.
Yeah. It highlights that urban tourism appeal, the energy, the variety.
And the convenience, if the transport's good. That shopping focus caters to a specific type of traveler, too.
True. And that pollution point is a reminder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even desirable places have their challenges.
Always. Okay, so the fourth one.
All right, finally, a picturesque village. This one's nestled 200 meters above sea level.
Oh, nice views then.
Must be breathtaking, yeah. Overlooking valleys and lakes. Apparently, it's popular with artists.
You can see why. The landscape, traditional houses.
Exactly. And they mention the crisp air, a good escape from city heat.
Mm-hmm.
Getting there sounds like part of the adventure, though. Steep, winding roads.
Tricky driving.
Seems like it. So the train is the main way in, and that journey itself offers, apparently, incredible scenery.
So the journey is part of the experience.
Feels like it. It sounds like a place for inspiration,
Yeah.
and tranquility.
Yeah, it really emphasizes that pull of natural beauty and cultural heritage.
And maybe being a bit harder to reach adds to the charm.
Could be. For people wanting something less crowded, more maybe authentic, the artist connection says a lot about its visual appeal.
So looking at these 4, wow, they're so different.
Completely.
It really shows how personal the idea of an appealing destination is, doesn't it? One person wants the quiet village.
Another wants the buzz of the city.
Exactly.
Which leads us quite nicely into the language we use for broader patterns in tourism.
Ah, the vocabulary list.
Right. We've got words like at, low, of peak, reach, trend, travel, and trough.
They seem like simple words, but context is everything.
Definitely. In tourism data, they become really key tools for, understanding and talking about changes over time.
And that vocabulary note is useful too, spelling out peak highest point and trough lowest point in stats.
Yeah, that precision is important. It's easy to misuse those terms.
Being able to spot those peaks and troughs gives you a quick snapshot, doesn't it? The highs and lows.
And helps you summarize the overall trends. which links straight into the next bit.
The Harbor City Tourism Bar Chart,
Right.
exercise 1.4.
Exactly. Now, we don't have the specific numbers in front of us from the excerpt,
Right.
but we know the categories. City hotels, coastal hotels, adventure tourism, rail travel, air travel.
And the years. 1970, 1985, 2000.
So understanding how to look at a chart like that, see the patterns, and talk about them, that's a really crucial skill.
Not just for IELTS, you mean?
No, definitely not. For understanding reports, news articles, making decisions, it crops up everywhere.
And the exercise itself gets you to complete sentences using that vocabulary.
That's the idea. So you look at the chart and maybe you see, like, adventure tourism is showing a clear upward trend by 2000.
Or maybe coastal hotels hit their peak in 85.
Precisely. Or rail travel maybe dipped to a low point somewhere. You're learning to read the story in the data.
And to tell that story using the right words.
It's about spotting those key patterns, the direction, the size of the change, and describing them accurately. Peak, trough, trend. They give you the language for it.
And this ties directly into the IELTS writing task 1, as the materials point out.
Absolutely. That task is often about describing visual data charts, graphs, tables.
So this exercise is basically direct practice for that.
Exactly. Interpreting the data, picking out the main features, summarizing trends, using specific vocabulary. All key skills for task 1.
Okay, so moving on from descriptions and data. The sources also give some practical travel advice. Always useful.
Very much so. One point is about booking during peak season. You might find deals.
But you need to book way in advance for flexibility.
Right. And the classic advice, research your destination, local customs, weather. Seems obvious, but...
Makes a huge difference if you actually do it.
Totally. Then there's the nitty-gritty, managing money, budgeting.
Making copies of your passport, having your itinerary handy, all that stuff.
And health medications, insurance. Crucial.
Plus, the simple reminder to just keep an eye on your belongings. Easy to forget when you're excited or tired.
These practical things really underpin a smooth trip, don't they? Preparation and just being mindful.
Yeah. But tourism isn't just about the traveler, is it? The materials also touch on the wider impacts.
Right, especially in more remote or sensitive places. And it's not always positive.
No. What are the potential downsides mentioned?
Well, if it's poorly managed, loss of peace for locals, overcrowding, damage to the environment.
Like fragile natural areas.
Exactly. And even rising costs of living for the people who live there. The very things that attract visitors can be harmed.
That's a serious point. But there are potential upsides, too.
Oh, definitely. Financial benefits for the community, jobs, maybe improved infrastructure like roads or services.
And sometimes tourism money actually funds conservation efforts.
Yes, that can happen. It all comes down to how it's managed. Responsible, sustainable tourism is the goal.
Finding that balance.
Exactly. Balancing the economy with protecting the environment and respecting local culture long term.
Okay. And finally, there's a little section on common travel mistakes.
Ah, yes, the fun bit.
Apparently, not packing modern tech is a regret for some.
Interesting. Maybe for navigation or translation apps.
Could be. Also, over-planning short trips, which sounds odd, but maybe leaves no room for spontaneity.
Yeah, I could see that. Underestimating hand luggage needs. Oh, definitely been there.
Me too. And taking too many snacks, especially for shorter trips.
Guilty.
It's a lighthearted look, but useful. And it clarifies some words, too.
Right. Traveling is just general movement.
Trip is shorter, like a holiday. Journey is getting from A to B.
And a tour usually means visiting multiple places.
And the grammar point, luggage is uncountable. No luggages.
Good reminder. Put your luggage under the seat.
So, wrapping this up, we've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we?
We really have. From those personal stories of hometowns.
To the analytical side, the vocabulary, the data.
The practical advice, and those broader impacts. It's such a multifaceted topic.
We've seen it through individual eyes, through data, through its consequences.
Yeah.
So our final thought for you, the listener, is this. Considering all these different angles, the quiet village, the buzzing city, how we describe trends, the ethics of travel, what aspect of tourism really strikes you the most?
And what further questions or maybe explorations might that spark for you? Something to think about.